You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. Long Island school districts will get more than $270 million in additional state aid for the upcoming school year. That is a 6% increase for Nassau and a nearly 5% increase for Suffolk. Now, a ban on students using smartphones in schools will also start in September as part of the agreement. And there's a deal to provide free school meals to all students statewide. And also included in the budget, a plan that allows the MTA to put speed cameras at the Throgs Neck Bridge and the Midtown Tunnel. Now, once that happens, speeders would get a ticket automatically. And mold has temporarily shut down a library in Setauket. Officials say the Emma S. Clark Memorial Library on Main Street has been closed for more than a week. It's Suffolk's oldest public library, mind you. Now, it will reopen once the heating and ventilation systems are cleaned and an air quality test is done. And the price of using a Fire Island water taxi is going up an average of $114. Suffolk lawmakers approved the rate hikes this week. That hike does not apply to ferry service. And fallen officers were honored at the Suffolk County Police Department's annual memorial service.
Remembering those who gave their lives in service and protection of others. In the face of danger, they stood with courage. In the presence of fear, they offered safety.
Now, the name of Lieutenant John McCarvey was added to the memorial wall today. He died from 9/11 related cancer in 2022. And a D-Day veteran has died at 101 years old.
My serial number is 32905-447.
How do you remember that?
That's Frank Agoglia from a documentary about the war. He lived at the Long Island State Veterans Home in Stony Brook. Frank served in World War II along with 5 of his brothers. All of them survived the war. The veteran was a longtime member of the NYPD and retired in 1980. All right, let's take a quick look at tomorrow's weather with Mother's Day coming up this weekend as well. As you can see, it's going to be a gorgeous Saturday with temps in the 60s. We'll have your 7-day forecast a little later in the broadcast. Only in Newsday, Forever Chemicals in 7 Long Island water districts are above federal limits. Sherry Einhorn looks at what's being done.
You can't see them, smell them, or taste them, but you could be drinking them in your water. Do you worry about what's potentially in it?
All the time.
Tell me what you think about it.
I don't trust it. Especially now. It's just I feel that the water's contaminated in general, but just live with it.
We're talking about contaminants known as forever chemicals. They are also found in lots of things that are part of our daily lives. Things like plastic packaging, waterproof clothing, even carpeting. New York State has a drinking water standard of 10 parts per trillion for this class of contaminants. The Environmental Protection Agency recently adopted a stricter standard of 4 parts per trillion. As of now, that's set to take effect in 2029.
The stricter, the better. I don't trust the tap water, and I want to make sure that whatever my family and I are drinking at least has gone through a filter.
A legal challenge and political pressure weigh heavily on what happens next with those standards.
We have never in the United States of America, have seen the federal government roll back drinking water standards. Never. So if it occurs with PFAS, one of the most toxic chemicals we know of in our drinking water, it would be tragic.
The concern is also that with the huge budget cuts that the EPA has recently announced, they actually won't be able to enforce it, even if it is technically still the standard.
Newsday analyzed federal data that water suppliers are required to submit to the EPA.
What we're seeing is that 7 water districts on Long Island out of 36 that have submitted the data so far have these annual averages above that limit. So should the regulations go into effect, they would have to comply and do something to reduce that contaminant level.
Local water suppliers say they've been working to get rid of those chemicals for years using specialized carbon filtration systems.
There could be lawsuits, there could be controversy, there could be competing proposals for regulations. Here at the Water Authority, because of the strong support of our board, we're bringing everything to non-detect.
For Newsday TV, I'm Shari Einhorn.
All right, the Knicks are looking to beat Boston for the third time in a row as they head into Game 3 of the NBA playoffs tomorrow. Newsday Steve Popper has a preview.
The Knicks have gone now back from 2 games in Boston that are probably the craziest that anyone can recall. Coming back both games from 20 points down in the second half. An overtime winning game 1, a last second game saving defensive play in game 2 to clinch it after not leading for the first 46 minutes of the game. And now they return to New York up 2 games to none, which I think no one could have expected over the defending champions. And they wind up for an afternoon game, Saturday afternoon at Madison Square Garden, which I think might be as crazy as we've ever seen it there. People were partying in the streets outside there while we were up in Boston yesterday. This team has suddenly captured the hearts of fans with all of these comeback wins, 5-0 on the road in the postseason this year. Just doing things that people didn't expect after a regular season when they couldn't beat any of the best teams in the league. And now to go up 2 games to none on this team is just a shocking turn of events, and shocking while we were up in Boston too, where the fans were I think, just paralyzed by what had happened. The team has just come up with all of the big plays down the stretch, very much a play to the final buzzer attitude. So I think the expectations are huge, and people starting to think that there might be a path here for this team to get back to the NBA Finals, something that this organization hasn't done in 26 years.
Sarah Sounds Off is brought to you by Roll Up Awnings.
Now this week, Newsday's Greg Sarah is sounding off about the state of high school athletics, starting with Plainview's flag football game.
They're just dominant. 3 years running, haven't lost a game yet.
They are just too dominant, really, for any team that I've seen them play. The Massapequa gave them a really great game in the first half, but they came back. They have 3 great quarterbacks. They have options, a freshman, a junior, and a senior. But it's not just the quarterbacks that get it done. It's the receivers, Rachel Gans, Emma Heaney, Laura Glasser, and they're pretty great on defense, too. This team is nearly unstoppable.
Now they're also talking baseball and lacrosse. You can watch this week's episode with Newsday High School sports editor Greg Sarah, streaming now on Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
A blend of heart and humor in a film about food and family. I'm Elisa DiStefano at the premiere of Nona's.
I want to open an Italian restaurant.
Who are you going to get to come down and cook?
Nona's. Other real-life Italian grandmothers.
Long Island's own Lorraine Bracco plays a Nona in the movie based on the story of a real-life restaurant in Staten Island where Nonas are the chefs.
Did you see it? I saw it. It brought back so many memories for me and made me miss my Nona.
Of course.
But now you're a grandmother.
I am. I have 3 grandchildren.
But they don't call you Nona? Or
no, they call me Flower.
Ah!
Oh, she started it.
You ladies are killing me.
What is it like for you to see your story streaming?
It's an amazing group of people came together and did this, and I'm awestruck.
So you are our real life Nona.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a Nona for 60 grandchildren. I'm in the 91.
Nona, God bless you. I'll have whatever she's having. What are you having? A lot of meatballs, a lot of macaroni?
People are liking meatballs.
You remind me of my Nona. I'm going to get a hug, my Nona.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, there's a lot of Italian food featured in the film.
I eat constantly, yeah.
Was it as good as it looked on screen?
Well, we had a real chef, and he taught me how to make cannolis.
There was just one thing that was controversial in this film. They called it Sunday gravy.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Somebody else must have in this cast or crew did, not me.
No, it's Sunday sauce for you.
Oh, yeah.
Dinner at what time?
Early.
3 o'clock, right?
That's right. That's right. You know it.
And a focus on family.
it transcends to all cultures. Everyone has the same family experience. Yeah, because it's about love.
So full of love.
Family and food.
What's great is that it's an Italian movie with a family and not the family that we always think about with the Corleone.
You know that family too, yeah.
Exactly.
Our nonnas would be proud.
Nona's starts streaming on Netflix today.
Feed Me is brought to you by Sarant Cadillac.
Brunch comes in all shapes and sizes, prices, and vibes. So today, we're bringing you 3 upscale brunch options that satisfy our bellies and our budgets. Up first is the Legacy Brunch at Teller's in Iceland. Here, you'll dine a la carte in the grand dining room, where entrees run between $25 and $39. The former Bank Turn restaurant has classics like Eggs Benedict, but also some entrees with a modern twist, like the ricotta pancakes with lemon blueberry butter and the brunch burger with pepper bacon, egg, and cheddar cheese. As if that's not enough, indulge yourself in the complimentary oversized cinnamon roll. For the shellfish lovers, try Rothman's Steakhouse in East Norwich. The iconic restaurant dates back to 1907. For $69 and change, you can crack into a bright red Maine lobster or dive into the crab legs, oysters, or shrimp that sit alongside. Still hungry? There are plenty of sweets for dessert, even a chocolate fountain for dipping. Saving the best for last is the Red Salt Room at the Garden City Hotel. The lavish hotel tradition will run you $120, but brunch cocktails are included here. The buffet has a literal tower of shellfish anchoring the center of the room, surrounded by custom omelet and crepe stations highlighting the work of New York City chef David Burke. You can find our full list of steakhouse brunches on Long Island on Newsday.com. I'm Maria Elena Martinez for Newsday TV.
All right, let's take a closer look at your 7-day forecast to see just how gorgeous this weekend will be. And I have good news for you. It's going to be stunning. Temps will be in the 70s. Mother's Day is a star with temps at 74. Then moving into next week, they'll be elevated, not quite 70. And we do have some clouds and rain moving through, but we'll deal with that next week.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries. Only in Newsday, there are over 50,000 unlicensed drivers on Long Island who are more likely to be involved in deadly crashes. What can be done to keep you safe? Dangerous roads, unlicensed drivers, now available at Newsday.com.
You're watching Newsday TV. For more on all the stories you've seen here today, head over to Newsday.com. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say, install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can. Get more of the stories you've seen on Newsday TV at Newsday.com. Plus breaking news, investigations, things to do, restaurants, and other Long Island news you can't get anywhere else. At Newsday.com, covering Long Island like no one else can.